Hello, you are welcome to Divine Fire TV. Today's lesson, we are going to talk about properties of metals. Properties of metals. One, metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. They are good conductors of heat and electricity, which means metals allow heat and electricity to pass through them easily. When we say they are good conductors of heat and electricity, it means they allow heat and electricity to pass through them easily. Because of this property, metals are used to make electric wires, cooking pots, and heaters. Examples: copper and aluminium are widely used for electrical wiring. Look at this. This is a wire. You can hear the light. The red light is moving. It's a wire. Yes. They are metals. Heat can pass through. Look at this pot. Heat can also pass through so that you can use it to cook your things. Yes. So this is the point. The first point here. They are good conductors of heat and electricity. That is the first point. Metals are excellent conductors of heat and electricity. Silver is the best conductor, followed by copper. Let's look at the next point. Look at the next point. Metals are malleable. That is the point. Metals are malleable. It's a point. If you can explain in this way, metals can be hammered or rolled into thin sheets without breaking. Yes, this makes them useful for making car bodies, aluminium foil, and roofing sheets. For example, gold is one of the most malleable metals. One of the most malleable metals is gold. So you can use it to fold. Look at this. Where the red light is, it's a machine. Look at how they are folding it. This picture here. It's a metal. When you hit it, it becomes very soft, and therefore you can mold it. You can hammer it and roll it into different shapes. This is the ability of metal to be hammered or rolled into thin sheets without breaking. That's malleability of metal. Metals are malleable. This is the ability of metal to be hammered or rolled into thin sheet without breaking. Let's look at the next point of properties of metals. Metals are ductile. What's the third point? They are ductile. Metals are ductile. Ductile metals can be drawn into thin wires. But when we say metals are ductile, it means it can be drawn into thin wires. Metals can be drawn into wire. Look at this wire. It's a metal. Where the red light is, this is a metal. Look at this one too, the right hand side, and look at the middle one. Yes, this property makes metals useful in electrical cables and wires. Examples: copper and aluminium metals are ductile. Now look at the next point. Metals are luster. It means they have shiny appearance. Most metals have a characteristic shiny appearance. This is because they reflect light effectively. So they are luster. Metals usually have a shiny surface when polished. This property is called luster. Because of this, metals are often used in jewelry, decorations, and mirrors. Let's look at the next point. Metals have high melting and boiling point. That is a point. The fifth point. Metals have high melting and boiling point. This is the fifth point. Look at it where the red light is. Where I have thrown the red light. Metals have high melting and boiling point. Most metals require very high temperatures to melt or boil. That is that. I'm saying the temperatures they have high melting and boiling point. It means it requires very high temperature to melt or boil. This is why they are used in machines, engines, and building structures. They require high temperature. Look at this. It is a metal which has been melted. You need to increase the temperature to the highest. Look at this one too. If you do it this way, then you can mold it into different shapes. So they need a high temperature to melt or boil. Okay, let's look at the next point, the sixth point. Solid metals are hard. Yes, solid metals are hard. That is strength and hardness. Solid metals are hard. Many metals are strong and hard. They can support heavy loads and resist breaking. This makes them useful in construction tools and vehicles. So the point is, metals are hard and strong. That is, the solid metals are hard and strong. Let's look at the next point. Metals are sonorous, which means metals produce a deep sound, a deep ringing sound when strike. This is why they are used to make bells. Yes. This is why they are used to make bells. Look at this bell, where the light is. This is a bell. Because metals produce a ringing sound when strike. This property is called sonority. Because of this, metals are used to make bells and musical instruments. Metals are solid at room temperature. That's the 8th point. Metals are solid at room temperature. So you can write it down. Metals are solid at room temperature. Except mercury, which is liquid and require high temperature to melt. Mercury is liquid. So with the exception of mercury, metals are solid at room temperature. Mercury is rebelling against science. So science has rebels. They don't follow the pattern. Like the hardness of metal, some metals are not hard. It's like the hardness of metal, some metals are not hard. So they don't follow the rules. For example, sodium and potassium. They are very soft. They can be cut with knife. And are less dense than water. That is why they float. And the conductivity too. Unlike most metals, lead is very poor conductor of electricity. So these are the exceptions. So the most exceptions. They don't follow the pattern. They rebel against science. In our next lesson, we shall talk about the chemical properties of metals. Today we discuss the physical properties. So in our next lesson, we shall also discuss the chemical properties of metals. Goodbye.